What's going on, everybody? And today, we're going to be breaking down a bunch of Guild Award nominations because we had like four dropping today, and I might as well talk about some of the other ones, especially since I talked about the Visual Effects Society Awards. But regardless, there's a lot because today they announced the nominees for the Editors Guild, the Writers Guild, the Directors Guild, and the Producers Guild. And the reason why this is all relevant is because this is all leading up to the Oscars, where the nominees, I think, are going to be announced in like less than 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. The Oscar nominations are going to be announced on, February 8th, which, like I said, is less than 2 weeks from now. And I feel pretty good about this because with most of these movies, I've seen most of them. Really, the only major one I didn't see yet was Licorice Pizza, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But let's take a look at the browser cam and go through some of these. And we're not just talking about the Editors Guild, the Writers Guild, the Producers Guild, the Directors Guild. We're going to be talking about a bunch of other ones, like the sound editing, the sound mixing, the production designing, costume designing, hair and makeup, all that cool stuff, because, hey, I just think it's fascinating. So yeah, let's take a look at the graphic cam. And yeah, right here we're looking at the Cinema Audio Society Awards. This is pretty much the award show for sound mixing. Now, granted, in the Oscars, they've combined the sound editing and sound mixing categories to best sound, which I feel like was a big mistake because I feel like there's a big difference between sound mixing and sound editing. And I've heard some people on Twitter go, "Oh well, no one knows the difference, so what? They might as well combine it." Well, it's like, well, it's not made for you. It's made for the people who actually know film. And in case you don't know the difference between sound mixing and sound editing is pretty much the creation of the sounds. Like, how do you create like sound effects? Like, for example, the lightsaber sound effects, that's sound editing. The Tyrannosaurus Rex in Jurassic Park roaring, that is a sound effect, that is sound editing. Sound mixing is how you mix the sounds together, whether it be mixing together music and like how the music is mixed in within the movie, or hell, I'm currently using sound mixing right now because on my film editing software Filmora, I am messing with the audio a bit to make it sound more clearer to you guys. So yeah, it is like it's, but yeah. And sound mixing can also include things like, muffling sounds for when it's needed. For example, there's a scene in No Time to Die. It's one of the nominees right here, and I'll get to that when we get to that. But there's a scene in No Time to Die where something explodes, and you hear it from a character's perspective, but then everything gets all muffled. There's like the ears are ringing, and that kind of sound right there is sound mixing, trying to make you feel like to where you're actually hearing things through that person's perspective, at least in that case. Or when you look at Sound of Metal, that is a great example of sound editing and sound mixing. But regardless, yeah, let's get on with it, shall we? Outstanding achievement in sound mixing for a motion picture live action: Dune, No Time to Die, Spider-Man No Way Home, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. All of these are really good at that, are really good with sound mixing. And it's surprising that Spider-Man No Way Home is actually getting in there too. No, because if I'm not mistaken, let me actually do something real quick because I gotta check. Yeah, let me just check right here. Because I know, if I'm not mistaken, Spider-Man No Way Home is on the shortlist this year at the Oscars for Best Sound. And with all this going around, hold on. the web page is running so slowly right now. But yeah, best sound. Where is it? Yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home is currently. Yeah, it is in the shortlist for best sound. And obviously, as you can see right here, Spider-Man No Way Home is nominated for sound mixing at the Cinema Audio Society Awards. Then you have Outstanding Achievement in Sound Mixing for a Motion Picture Animated Encanto, Luca, Raya and the Last Dragon, Sing 2, and The Mitchells vs. the Machines. No, I can't really talk about these movies because none of them are really on the short list. Although I will say, Mitchells vs. the Machines I thought had some amazing sound mixing in there. But yeah. But regardless, yeah, so these are all really good nominees. Which one would I pick? Probably Dune. I mean, honestly, Dune I feel like is going to take a lot of these awards. Although, granted, I mean, yeah, that's it's going to take a lot of the awards. But regardless, who knows? Maybe I might be wrong. So yeah, I guess I might as well move on to the Golden Reel Awards, which is pretty much the motion picture, which is done by the motion picture sound editors, and there's actually quite a few nominees right here. Outstanding Achievement in Sound Editing, Dialogue, and ADR for a Feature Film. The nominees are Dune, Last Night in Soho, The Matrix Resurrections, Nightmare Alley, No Time to Die, The Power of the Dog, A Quiet Place Part 2, and The Tragedy of Macbeth. Which, actually, if I'm not mistaken, the Tragedy of Macbeth is actually not in the shortlist for... it's not in the shortlist for Best Sound. Yeah, it's not. So that's interesting. Outstanding Achievement in Sound Editing, Sound Effects, and Foley for a Feature Film. Belfast, Dune, The Matrix Resurrections, Nightmare Alley, No Time to Die, A Quiet Place Part 2, and Spider-Man No Way Home. So there you go. Sound Effects and Foley. And Outstanding Achievement Sound Editing, Feature Music. Dune, Ghostbusters Afterlife, In the Heights, The Matrix Resurrections, Nightmare Alley, A Quiet Place Part 2, Tick Tick Boom, and West Side Story. I'm not going to act like I know what they mean by sound editing for feature music. But I just figured it's worth bringing up considering we are getting up to the Oscars and whatnot. And going with these two, which ones do I think have the best shot? I mean, have the best shot of getting nominated? Well, I think Dune is a lock. No Time to Die is a lock. And I think West Side Story, considering how well it's doing, I think it will get a Best Sound nomination. Could A Quiet Place Part 2 get in there? It might. I will say I would have been a little bit. I will be a little bit surprised because coming out of A Quiet Place Part 2, I would have just normally thought it was just more of the same from the first film. But maybe they see something in this thing that I don't. Who knows? Man, this is tough. I think wait. Belfast could get in there. I think Spider-Man No Way Home could get in there. Although, if I'm not, although I don't think comic book movies rarely get nominated for sound categories these days. Joker did, Black Panther did, but other than that, I can't think of another comic book movie to get nominated for the sound categories since, The Dark Knight and Iron Man. If I'm not mistaken. So, it would, although I will say, if Spider-Man No Way Home does get nominated for Best Sound, that would be great, because I think the usage of sound, I think the way they did the sound in that movie was phenomenal, and there's so many different kinds of sounds. So, yeah, but obviously I think Dune is the winner. I mean, that movie is just an immersive, that's just a bath of immersiveness So there we go. I've already kind of talked about the Visual Effects Society Awards. I still think the nominees are going to end up being Dune, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Godzilla vs. Kong, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and Spider-Man No Way Home. I feel like, and Dune is obviously going to be the winner, especially since it's nominated for best visual, since it's going to get nominated for best picture. If you want more info on the visual effects thing, I literally have an entire hour-long video talking about the Visual Effects Society Awards nominations, so that's going to be a little bit of a treat if you like that stuff. Makeup Artists and Hairstylist Guild Awards. This is interesting. I like this. I'm also a bit of a makeup enthusiast. But I don't know nearly as much about this as visual effects, and even with visual effects, I wouldn't know how to run a visual effects software. So there you go. Best contemporary makeup. I think it's just like sort of just like regular makeup that anyone, at least from what it seems like. Black Widow, Coming to America, Don't Look Up, No Time to Die, and The Suicide Squad. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really notice contemporary makeup as much, so I can't really comment on that as much. Best contemporary hairstyling. Coming to America, In the Heights, No Time to Die, The Matrix Resurrections, and The Suicide Squad. Once again, I'm more notice like the big kind of stuff, the stuff that really grabs. That's the stuff that really grabs my attention. Best period and or character makeup. We have Being the Ricardos, Cruella, Dune, House of Gucci, and The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Now, granted, there is also special effects makeup, but I'm trying to think what the difference is between period and or character makeup. But it's like I at least know that it's trying to fit in with the style back then. I thought Cruella had did a great job of that. Although character makeup, does that mean? Because I'm wondering if that still kind of coincides with the special effects makeup. I don't know. But I will get back to that. Sort of. Best period hairstyling and or character hairstyling. Being the Ricardos, Cruella, House of Gucci, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and West Side Story. Cruella, I think, did some really cool things with with hair and whatnot, especially with Cruella herself. The Eyes of Tammy Faye, I thought had some really stylish kind of hairstyling. So yeah. Being the Ricardos had some pretty good ones as well. House of Gucci, definitely. But this is one I definitely noticed the most. Best special effects makeup. Coming to America, Dune, House of Gucci, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and The Suicide Squad. This is a great category. And honestly, when it comes to the Oscar, I think these 5 movies will get nominated for the Oscar. Coming to America, Cruella, Dune, House of Gucci, and The Eyes of Tammy Faye. I feel like those will be the 5 movies nominated. And if you have not seen Coming to America, the sequel to, Coming to America, but this time it's a 2, but it's on Amazon Prime. But oh my god. I wasn't thinking I wasn't thinking Coming to America was going to, wow that much in terms of makeup after the first one. But, I mean, yeah, some of the original makeup characters returned, but there's a couple of new ones, especially this one old one with glossy sort of gray eyes or whatever, and the person's all wrinkly, and oh my god, it's one of the best looking characters. It's one of the best looking makeup characters I've ever seen in any Eddie Murphy movie, and that's saying a lot because Eddie Murphy has done a lot of crazy makeup movies. And that's one thing I always gotta say about Eddie Murphy, why I really respect what Eddie Murphy does with his makeup comedy movies, is that he always gets the best talent. For the longest time, his go-to guy was Rick Baker. And in case you don't know who Rick Baker is, you would definitely know that his makeup work in movies what was it? He did Ed Wood. He won the very first makeup, like when they introduced the makeup and like the makeup Oscar. When they introduced the makeup Oscar, Rick Baker was the first one to win because he did American Werewolf in London. He also won for. He also won for Ed Wood. He won for Men in Black, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. He also won for The Wolfman. But he's also done a lot of Eddie Murphy movies as well. He won, like, he was nominated for Best Makeup for the first Coming to America. He won the Oscar for The Nutty Professor, and he was nominated once again for Norbit. Like, and those are all Eddie Murphy movies. Like Eddie Murphy knows his shit when he's doing the makeup comedy. Like, he's like, no, Rick Baker's the guy. And obviously, well, and if you don't know, Rick Baker is retired. But apparently it seems like the sequel to Coming to America definitely consulted with Rick Baker on how to recreate the original designs. And I think Coming to America is going to get nominated. Which one do I think will win? I think the winner will probably be The Eyes of Tammy Faye, because you look at the work they did on Tammy Faye. You may think the makeup is really goofy and weird looking, but trust me, the real Tammy Faye was just as goofy and weird looking. It looks exactly, it's almost scary how much that looks like the real Tammy Faye. So yeah. Costume Designers Guild Awards 2021. There's 3 categories for film. There's excellence in contemporary film, excellence in period film, and excellence in sci-fi fantasy film. This one's way more easier for me to judge. Granted, I'm not a costume designer, so take that for what you will. For contemporary film, we have Coming to America, Don't Look Up, In the Heights, No Time to Die, and Zola. For excellence in period film, we have Cruella, Cyrano, House of Gucci, Nightmare Alley, and West Side Story. And for excellence in sci-fi fantasy film, we have Dune, The Green Knight, The Matrix Resurrections, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Spider-Man No Way Home, and The Suicide Squad. For best contemporary film, I think for me this is easy. I would pick Coming to America, because Ruth E. Carter, good God, she is a legend. She did the costume designing for movies like Black Panther and Dolomite Is My Name. Black Panther won Best Costume Design in that year's Oscars. But for some reason, Dolomite Is My Name did not get nominated. Which is weird, because everyone assumed that Dolomite Is My Name was going to win costume design. Which is just insanity. But yeah, like that was a shame. I'm hoping she wins the contemporary film nomination here. Excellence in period film. We're talking about Cruella. Like, this is Cruella de Vil we're talking about. Cruella de Vil is like Cruella. Like, the whole thing about Cruella de Vil is that she is a villain, fashionista, and if that can't win you an award for costume, then nothing can. And look, I don't like Cruella. I don't like Cruella. But the costume designing in that movie was phenomenal. It's honestly some of the best costume designing I've ever seen in any Disney movie. So there's that. And for excellence in sci-fi fantasy film, I would probably pick Dune. The costumes in Dune are not only very memorable, but they also help the way they sort of mesh into the story as well, with how the suits are supposed to function within the film, especially like these suits that you're supposed to wear during the desert. Like, the way they explain it, you can clearly see what's going on. Like, you can clearly see how those suits work in the film. So I would pick Dune for that. Which ones do I think will get nominated? I think Cruella, easy. Dune, easy. Coming to America, House of Gucci, and probably West Side Story, I think are going to be the 5 nominations for that. And I think out of those 5, Cruella is the one that's going to win. Art Directors Guild Awards. Excellence in production design. There's 4 categories here. Excellence in production design for a contemporary film. The nominees being Candyman, Don't Look Up, In the Heights, The Lost Daughter, and No Time to Die. Excellence in production design for a period film. The nominees are The French Dispatch, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, The Tragedy of Macbeth, and West Side Story. Excellence in production design for a fantasy film. Cruella, Dune, Ghostbusters Afterlife, The Green Knight, and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And excellence in production design for an animated film. Encanto, Luca, The Mitchells vs. the Machines, Raya and the Last Dragon, and Sing 2. Let me start with contemporary film first. I think out of all of these, I'd probably pick No Time to Die. I'd probably pick No Time to Die for this. So yeah. I felt like there was like the most going on there in terms of production design. Excellence in production design for a period film, French Dispatch, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, Tragedy of Macbeth, and West Side Story. I'd probably pick the French Dispatch for this. Because again, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on with the production design there. It's so intricate, so detailed. Hell, there are just some, like, there are shots that are literally meant for the production designing. I will say, for production design in a fantasy film, I find it weird that Cruella is nominated here, but in the costume design guild, it's a period film. Which, granted, these are different guilds, so I don't know. I would not consider Cruella to be a fantasy film. I would put it under period film, but whatever. If it's being nominated amongst these 4, I would pick Cruella. Oh wait, no, this is this is production designing. Oh, production designing. If we're talking about production design. What am I doing? For production design, I would pick Dune. Oops, I think I got something in the hold on. Yeah, I just got something. I just got a message. Yeah, whatever. I'll get to that later. Yeah, so there we go. So production design for this, I would give it to Dune. So yeah. And production design for an animated film, this is tough. I'd probably give it to Encanto, considering the entire film literally revolves around this house. And it's literally all about this house. So production designing is kind of a big thing in that. Which ones do I think will get nominated? I think Dune is getting nominated. The French Dispatch, Nightmare Alley, The Tragedy of Macbeth, and West Side Story. I think those 5 are getting nominated at the Oscars, and I think the one that will win is Dune, because of how big and huge of a scale the production designing is. And here's the thing about production design: it's not just the sets; it's also like vehicle designing and stuff. And so all of that goes a long way, especially in trying to create this huge world that is Dune. So I think Dune will win in the Oscars. American Cinema Editors 2022. For best edited, there's best edited feature film dramatic, Belfast, Dune, King Richard, No Time to Die, and The Power of the Dog. Best edited feature film comedy. Comedy. Here's a funny thing. It says comedy or musical, but I was told that it's not comedy or musical. It's literally just comedy. And the reason why I bring that up is because we got Cruella, Don't Look Up, The French Dispatch, Licorice Pizza, and Tick Tick Boom. Which, if you've seen Tick Tick Boom, that's not a comedy. It's not a comedy. I don't even know if I would. Is the French? I mean, maybe the French Dispatch is a comedy. I don't know, but Tick Tick Boom is not a comedy. And keep in mind, it's not called best edited feature film comedy musical. The musical part is not actually supposed to be there. It is comedy, and Tick Tick Boom. It's not a comedy, which means this is a case of category fraud. And if you don't know what category fraud is, that's when a movie gets nominated for something where it really should have been when really it should have been nominated for something else. The biggest example of this I could think of, at least in recent years, was Lakeith in the Oscars when Lakeith Stanfield got nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Judas and the Black Messiah. But here's the problem: he was not a supporting actor in that movie. He was the lead, and everyone got so confused over that. I think even he got confused over that because like, wait, a supporting actor, even though I'm the lead. So like, and that's what's called category fraud. And so this Tick Tick Boom thing being nominated for comedy, that is straight up category fraud. So yeah. Best edited documentary feature: Flea, The Rescue, Summer of Soul, Val, and The Velvet Underground. I'm not gonna act like I haven't seen. I'm not gonna act like I've seen all of these. So, best edited animated feature film: Encanto, Luca, Mitchell vs. the Machines, Raya and the Last Dragon, Sing 2. So yeah. For best edited feature film dramatic, I will say I'm kind of like, if I'm not mistaken, In the Heights and West Side Story were submitted for the dramatic one. So, like, that's kind of shocking that West Side Story didn't get in there. I mean, I wasn't expecting In the Heights to get in there because, well, Warner Brothers has completely given up on In the Heights in every single conceivable way possible, considering it flopped so badly at the box office. But, yeah, it didn't get in there. Out of all these, I'd probably once again pick Dune. Probably Dune. Yeah. Especially when you have to consider how because here's the thing about editing. Another thing that kind of goes into editing is if something like does something move at a good pace. And Dune, despite being like well over 2.5 hours long, I never felt bored. It's like it always kept me interested, especially when you consider the fact that this is only half of the Dune book. They took the first Dune book and stretched it into 2 movies. So, like, I thought that was a very impressive achievement. So I'd probably pick Dune for that. Best edited feature film comedy. I mean, I guess if they're gonna nominate it, I guess Tick Tick Boom, I thought was very clever with its editing. Although, like I said, I mean, you know, it should have been nominated in the dramatic one because again, it's not a comedy. And once more, I don't know why it says musical right here because it's not. The musical part is not in the name of this category. And best animated feature film, The Mitchells vs. the Machines is loaded with hyperactive editing, so I would not be shocked if the Mitchells vs. the Machines won this category. So which one would I pick? Oh wait, I already picked one. Which ones I would have picked? Oh yeah, wait. Which movies do I think will get nominated? I mean, I was thinking West Side Story, but I mean, who knows? It's tough. It really is tough. I think like King Richard could get nominated for the Oscar, especially with its tennis match scenes. It could get in there. So who knows? Uh, American Society of Cinematographers Awards. This one, there's really only one category we need to take notice of, and that is Outstanding Achievement in Cinematography and Theatrical Releases. We have The Tragedy of Macbeth, Dune, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, and Belfast. I will say the one thing I was kind of surprised over was Nightmare Alley getting in there over West Side Story. Especially, wait, I forget the... Especially since West Side Story was shot by Janusz Kaminski. I think that's his name. I hope I got that right. And he's like a big cinematography favorite, especially since he's, with him working with Spielberg a whole lot. Ooh, but I still think out of all these, I'd probably pick Dune. But I mean, I will say there is one movie that hasn't been getting a lot of cinematography love, and I'm kind of shocked over that. Is The French Dispatch. The French Dispatch I thought had beautiful, gorgeous cinematography. And it hasn't been in any of the conversations. Could it pull off a surprise nomination? I don't know. Hopefully. So yeah, but for the most part, I really like all these nominees. Then we get to the ones you guys would more know, the Screen Actors Guild Awards. And there's quite a few ones to go over here. Outstanding performance by a male actor in a leading role. Javier Bardem for Being the Ricardos. Benedict Cumberbatch for The Power of the Dog. Andrew Garfield for Tick, Tick, Boom. Will Smith for King Richard. And Denzel Washington, The Tragedy of Macbeth. Outstanding performance by a female actor in a leading role. Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye, Olivia Colman for The Lost Daughter, Lady Gaga for House of Gucci, and Jennifer Hudson for Respect, and Nicole Kidman for Being the Ricardos. Very interesting to see that Kristen Stewart for Spencer is nowhere here, which was shocking because at the start of awards season, it was looking like she was the frontrunner to win. But then in the Golden Globes, Nicole Kidman beat her, and so it's looking kind of tough for Kristen Stewart, which is a shame because I thought she was amazing in Spencer. And if you don't know what Spencer is, it's a movie where Kristen Stewart plays Princess Diana, and she's way better in it than you would think. Outstanding performance by a male actor in a supporting role. Ben Affleck for The Tender Bar. Bradley Cooper for Licorice Pizza. Troy Kotsur for Coda. Jared Leto for House of Gucci. And Cody Smith-McPhee for The Power of the Dog. Funny enough, I still have not seen Licorice Pizza. I haven't been able to find Licorice Pizza anywhere. So I can't talk about Licorice Pizza. Although it's funny that he's playing John Peters. That Bradley Cooper plays John Peters in that movie. And if you don't know who John Peters is, he is a notorious film producer in Hollywood. Like, he's actually real. And he has this weird obsession over spiders. Like, just look up, the story about him wanting, because there was going to be this Superman movie that Kevin Smith wanted to do called Superman Lives, where he was casting Nicolas Cage as Superman. But the producer, John Peters, for some reason wanted a big spider to be in the movie. For no reason whatsoever. And it was weird, because Kevin Smith was like, I don't... A giant spider? What? And I don't know what it is about John Peters. He just has this thing over spiders. So much so to where he took the giant spider idea and put that in the Will Smith movie Wild Wild West. Because he was a producer on that film. It's like, what was your... I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Wild Wild West, but I'm just like, dude, what is with your obsession with spiders? Giant spiders at that. I bet he must have been really, really disappointed when McArachne turned out to not be a spider. But that's another discussion on another time. Outstanding for performance by a female actor in a leading role. Katrina Balfe for Belfast. Kate Blanchett for Nightmare Alley. Ariana DeBose for West Side Story. Kirsten Dunst for The Power of the Dog. And Ruth Negga for Passing. Outstanding performance by a cast in a motion picture. And I'm just going to say the film titles here because there's way too much to go along here when actually naming the cast. Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, House of Gucci, and King Richard. And there is also outstanding performance by a stunt ensemble in a motion picture, Black Widow, Dune, The Matrix Resurrections, No Time to Die, and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Although, I'm not gonna lie, I take the stunt thing with a grain of salt with the SAG Awards because here's the thing about the SAG Awards and stunts. Stunt actors are actors. They do count as actors. And, like, if it was just the stunt actors nominating and voting for this category, I'd say great. But here's the problem. That's not the case. Everyone in the Screen Actors Guild votes and nominates the stunt ensemble thing, which means you're getting people who know nothing about stunts voting for the winners of the stunt categories. And it's very confusing. And it's like, why not just have the actual stunt people do the voting for that, considering that's literally their job. It's the same reason why I feel like the Oscars need to change the rules a bit to where when voting for the winners, the individual branches of the Academy vote for the winners, and then everyone votes for Best Picture. I feel like that's just fair. So yeah. But let me talk about these categories bit by bit. Outstanding performance by a male actor in a leading role. Obviously, Will Smith is going to win this. You know, YouTube vlogger Will Smith is getting this. Done. And I think he is on his way to winning his first Oscar. Although Andrew Garfield for Tick, Tick, Boom could threaten him. He could. Or Benedict Cumberbatch for The Power of the Dog, although I'd probably say Andrew Garfield has a better chance at beating Will Smith than Benedict, probably, maybe. Outstanding performance by a female actor in a leading role. Man, now that you take Kristen Stewart out of the equation, this makes things harder. Although I will say, one that I wasn't expecting to get nominated in the SAG Awards, but I'm kind of glad she did, is Jennifer Hudson for Respect. I mean, in case you don't know, Respect is a movie where Jennifer Hudson plays Aretha Franklin, and the movie was decent. It was pretty good. It's not as good as I was hoping it would be, but I mean, Jennifer Hudson was born to play Aretha Franklin. I mean, there's a reason why Aretha Franklin, I'm serious about this, handpicked Jennifer Hudson to play her if they ever did a biopic of her. And she nails the role of Aretha Franklin. Who do I think is going to win? Man, it's close between Olivia Colman and Nicole Kidman. I mean, because, like, then again, last year's Best Actress race was really, really, really tough. So, we'll have to see. Outstanding performance by a male actor in a supporting role. Cody Smith-McPhee has been sweeping the awards for The Power of the Dog, so I think he's going to win this. People keep shitting on Jared Leto for, like, no reason whatsoever. And I'm sorry, but I think Jared Leto's a better actor than most people give him credit for. I mean, hell, he won an Oscar for a reason. So it's like... So yeah. My pick out of all these might be Troy Kotsur for Coda. But Cody Smith-McPhee is going to probably win this. Hey, look, he was great in the movie, so there's that. Outstanding performance by a female actor in a supporting role. I feel like Ariana DeBose for West Side Story is going to win this. And I think out of all of these, she'd be my choice to win. Although, granted, especially when you see the Hannahcast movie awards coming up, a lot of my categories are going to look very different from the ones that you've been seeing so far, so, yeah. Outstanding performance by a cast in a motion picture. Ooh, this is tough. Now, sadly, Mass didn't get in there. I was hoping Mass would get in there. The ensemble, even though it's mainly just 4 actors, all of them give almost award-worthy performances. It's incredible. Ooh, Coda has a great cast. Don't Look Up has a great cast as well. I think Don't Look Up will probably win, honestly. House of Gucci has a great ensemble. Belfast has a great. Man, this is tough. This is really tough for me. Hmm. It's really take it or leave it. Like again, all these are so good. So yeah. And outstanding performance by a stunt ensemble and motion picture. I mean, really, in the grand scheme of things, this category doesn't really matter because it's not predominantly stunt people nominating this. So, but yeah, the Writers Guild of America Awards. Now, you're going to see some surprises on here because a lot of movies are not eligible for for the Writers Guild of America Awards. Mainly because a lot of the expected nominees are not, like, a lot of the film's writers for some, what am I saying? Like, a lot of the writers, like, every year there's a list of movies that aren't eligible for Writers Guild of America awards because the writers aren't part of the Writers Guild. So, for example, like last year, Nomadland and The Father weren't eligible for Best Adapted Screenplay because the writers of those movies were not part of the Writers Guild, and which caused Borat's subsequent movie film to win that year, but ultimately in the Oscars, which has much more relaxed rules, The Father won. So there's that. But for original screenplay, we have Being the Ricardos, Don't Look Up, The French Dispatch, King Richard, and Licorice Pizza. I'm not gonna lie, The French Dispatch really came out of nowhere for me. I'm just like, wow, really? That movie? So there's that. Which one do I think will win? I mean, Licorice Pizza could win, but at the same time, Don't Look Up could win. Or King Richard. The funny thing is, I would not nominate any of these movies for Best Original Screenplay, if I'm going to be honest. If I had to choose, maybe Don't Look Up, because I thought the movie was great, but then there's like this really horrible mid-credit scene, and that drops it down to like good, but like I don't like. It's tough. I'll probably pick Don't Look Up, but it's like, again, it's tough. Really, it is. But yeah. Best Adapted Screenplay. We have Coda, Dune, Nightmare Alley, Tick Tick Boom, and West Side Story. It's pretty surprising that two musicals got on here, and the reason why that's surprising is because the writer's branch doesn't really care for musicals that much. Like, the last time a musical got nominated for the Writers Guild of America Award, like a musical adaptation, the last time a musical adaptation got nominated for a Writers Guild Award was like all the way back, like 19 years ago with Chicago. Like 19 years ago. So the fact that two musicals got nominated here is impressive. Now, you could also argue that, because like I think maybe the reason why most musical adaptations don't get nominated is because most musical adaptations are, word for word translations of the original stage show, whereas with Tick Tick Boom and West Side Story, they added a lot more original dialogue in there. And I think that's probably why The Tragedy of Macbeth, another movie that everyone thought was going to get in there for Best Adapted Screenplay, didn't get nominated, because it really is a word for word translation of the, Macbeth play. Like, not, like, someone even told me, yeah, not a single word was changed for that film. So it's like, considering really in the grand scheme of things, Joel Cohen, I think it was Joel Cohen, I think. Let me make sure. Wait. Yeah, Joel Cohen. He was the one who wrote and directed that film. Considering Joel Cohen didn't really write a single lick of dialogue in that film, that's probably why he didn't get in there. Out of all of these, Coda could win. Coda could win, or Dune. I think probably the two most likely ones are Coda and Dune. My pick would probably be Dune because that just sounds like a page turner. Ironically, because that was a book. So yeah. Although, so yeah. And now we get to the Directors Guild of America. I think. Oh wait, I forgot for the Writers Guild for the Oscars. Oh wait, I forgot to mention some of the ones for like the Screen Actors Guild. Honestly, everyone's thinking in the Oscars that I think for honestly for best male actor in a leading role, I think we're gonna get. I think Javier Bardem, Benedict Cumberbatch, Andrew Garfield, Will Smith, and Denzel Washington. I think those are going to be our 5 Best Actor nominees. I don't think Peter Dinklage is going to get nominated for Cyrano. I mean, really, when you look at this, like, Cyrano has not been doing so well in the Guild Awards. Like, let me go back, because if I'm not mistaken, period film, yep, Cyrano didn't get nominated for that. Cyrano got nominated for costume design at the Costume Designers Guild, but for makeup, yep, no Cyrano. No, wait, sound editing? Did Cyrano get that? Nope. Sound mixing? And no. So yeah, literally out of all the major guild awards, and I'm just going to say it, Cyrano didn't get in there for the Directors Guild or the Producers Guild. So literally the only thing Cyrano has is excellence in period film at the Costume Designers Guild. Literally nothing else. I think Peter Dinklage is done for in the Best Actor race. I think Javier Bardem is going to be that 5th nominee, and Will Smith is going to win that easily. Outstanding performance by a female. Okay, now for the Oscars for lead actress. If Kristen, I think maybe, like, if Kristen Stewart does get in there, she's probably going to replace Jennifer Hudson, or either she'll probably replace either Jennifer Hudson or Lady Gaga, one of those two. That is it. But if Kristen Stewart doesn't get in there, I think it'll probably stay the same. We'll probably see the same actresses for the for Best Supporting Actor in the Oscars. I don't expect Ben Affleck to get nominated. I think. Let me look at best. Like, I need to be reminded of what could get nominated for the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Ciarán Hinds could get in there for Belfast. Jamie Dornan could get in there for Belfast. Ooh. Mike Faced for West Side Story could get in there. I think he'll probably get in there. Honestly, J.K. Simmons could get in there for Best Supporting Actor for Being the Ricardos. I think he could actually get in there. Especially when you see how well Being the Ricardos is doing, especially later on. So yeah. For outstanding performance by a female actor in a supporting role, I feel like this is Ariana DeBose's category. Once the Oscar nominations roll in, who do I think could probably replace these actresses? I don't think Cate Blanchett's going to make it to the Oscars. Not this year. We could actually see Anjanae Ellis for King Richard get in there. Actually, wait, Kirsten Dunst. I just realized, is Kirsten Dunst even... Oh, yeah, she is nominated for the SAG. Rita Moreno for West Side Story probably could get in there. Who knows? I'd like Ann Dowd for Mass to get in there, but I don't think she'll get in there. I don't think she will. But who knows? But now we get to, the Writers Guild. For Best Original Screenplay, I feel like once the Oscars start to roll in, once the actor and since the rules are a lot less a lot more relaxed. Belfast is going to get nominated for Best Original Screenplay. Yeah, I think really, if we're looking at Best Original Screenplay at the Writers Guild, The French Dispatch could probably get replaced by Belfast. And I think there's a lot more, and like I said, there's a lot more love for Being the Ricardos than you may think. For Best Adapted Screenplay, this is where a lot of movies got cut. I think we're gonna see. Oh yeah, The Power of the Dog is gonna get in there, considering it's not in for the SAG Awards, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's not in there for SAG. No, I mean not for SAG, for the Writers Guild. The Lost Daughter is going to get in there. I don't think The Tragedy of Macbeth is going to get in there. I think if we were, I think really the one that will get swapped will be the Best Adapted Screenplay. I feel like Tick Tick Boom is going to get swapped out. Either Tick Tick Boom or West Side Story is going to get swapped out in favor of The Power of the Dog. Oh yeah, for The Power of the Dog. Ooh. Couldn't The Power of the okay, so then again, could Nightmare Alley get swapped out? It could. Ooh. Will Nightmare Alley stay? That's the thing. Because we're talking about. Because right now, we're counting on The Power of the Dog getting nominated for Adapted Screenplay, which is gonna bump one of these movies out. Nightmare Alley, Tick Tick Boom, or West Side Story. I'd probably say maybe Tick Tick Boom will get bumped out, or West Side Story. It's gonna be one of these two. It's gonna be the musical that gets bumped out. And now we get to the Directors Guild Awards. This is for feature film we have Paul Thomas Anderson for Licorice Pizza, Kenneth Branagh for Belfast, Jane Campion for The Power of the Dog, Steven Spielberg for West Side Story, and Denis Villeneuve for Dune. Jane Campion is gonna win this easily. I would probably pick Denis Villeneuve for the winner here. Which one do I think? Now, which five do I think will get out? I think we're going to be seeing a very similar list, but I think probably either Kenneth Branagh or Paul Thomas Anderson is going to get left out. Probably Paul Thomas Anderson, weirdly enough, I think is going to get left out. Because I think we are going to see a very shocking turn of events once Oscar nomination morning comes out, because there's gonna be that one director that gets left out, and it's like, oh, wait, what? How'd that happen? We could see. Guillermo del Toro could replace Paul Thomas Anderson for Nightmare Alley. Maggie Gyllenhaal could replace him for The Lost Daughter, and whoever the director is for Drive My Car has been getting a lot of buzz, so maybe that could end up being the replacing Paul Thomas Anderson for Best Director. So, yeah. And for first-time feature film, we have Maggie Gyllenhaal for The Lost Daughter, Rebecca Hall for Passing, Tatiana Huenzo for Prayers for the Stolen, Lin-Manuel Miranda for Tick Tick Boom, Michael Sarnowski for Pig, and Emma Stelligman for Shiva Baby. Either Maggie Gyllenhaal or Lin-Manuel Miranda is going to win this. I'd probably pick Lin-Manuel Miranda, especially considering, this is a movie that here's the thing. I'm actually kind of shocked he won. I'm actually kind of a little bit surprised over, how good, Tick Tick Boom ended up being, considering this is literally Lin-Manuel Miranda's first movie, and making a stage show and making a movie are two completely different things, and yet somehow he was actually able to pull that off really well. But then we get to the Producers Guild Awards. This is where we have our best look at what could get nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. And keep in mind, once we get to, once Oscar nominations come this year, we will get a confirmed 10 nominees for Best Picture. And the way they're voting for that is whichever 10 movies get the most votes. Unlike previous years where, there was this overly complicated thing where it's put your number, put your, the movies you want, in the order in which of your favorites were, or whatever, whatnot. It's no, just put, whichever 10 movies get the most votes, those will get nominated for Best Picture. So, yeah. Producers Guild of America Awards. The award for Outstanding Producer of Theatrical Motion Pictures, being the Ricardos, Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Dune, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, The Power of the Dog, Tick Tick Boom, and West Side Story. I will say, if I'm not mistaken, we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 remakes nominated for Best Picture. We have Coda, we have Dune, which is like a double remake in of itself, and West Side Story. We could have seen Tragedy Macbeth get in there, but considering there's been a bunch of Tragedy Macbeth adaptations, but that's not the case. Although if you notice, Tragedy Macbeth has not been doing well this year. It's gotten in there, the only 3 major things it has going for it are Denzel Washington for lead actor, cinematography, and production design. That's literally it. And everyone thought it was going to get in there for, screenplay and Best Picture, and who knows, maybe Oscar nomination morning could surprise us. But I don't expect Tragedy Macbeth to get in there. I really don't. But of these, this is really the surprise for me was being the Ricardos. This movie is doing so well amongst, the guilds. Because Nicole Kidman got nominated, yeah, but also Javier Bardem, which no one saw that coming. And also with they're also getting in there with the Writers Guild, and now the Producers Guild. So being the Ricardos may actually get nominated for Best Picture. Otherwise, other than that, there's not really any other surprises. I kind of expected these. And also I just realized Will Smith is going to get 2 Oscar nominations this year. He's going to get nominated for Best Lead Actor for, King Richard, but he's also going to get nominated for Best Picture considering he's one of the producers of King Richard. So that's interesting. And also that means Lin-Manuel Miranda could get 2 Oscar nominations this year as well, because he's going to get nominated for Best Original Song for Dos Oruguitas in Encanto, and he's going to get nominated for Best Picture for Tick Tick Boom because he's one of the producers for that as well. Now watch, what if he pulls off a Best Director nomination? That would be shocking. So yeah. I feel like Power of the Dog is going to win this. It seems to be the award season favorite, although Belfast could get in there as well. Ugh. And once again, I have still not seen Licorice Pizza. I still need to see Licorice Pizza. It's just not been playing anywhere near me. Outstanding Producer of Animated Theatrical Motion Pictures, Encanto, Luca, The Mitchells vs. the Machines, Raya and the Last Dragon, and Sing 2. I think come awards season, come the Oscar nominations morning, I think the nominees are going to be Encanto, Luca, The Mitchells vs. the Machines, Flea, and Belle. The reason why I say Flea, you probably never heard of Flea, is because Flea is... You can actually see it down here. Flea is right now in the running to be the first movie to be nominated for these 3 awards. Best Animated Feature, Best Documentary Feature, and Best International Feature. It qualifies for all 3 of those. And so, if you haven't seen Flea, watch Flea. It is phenomenal. It is great. It is just incredible. Probably my second favorite animated movie of 2021, and that's saying because And keep in mind, like when I did my top 10 movies of 2021, I hadn't yet seen Flea. Flea probably wouldn't still make my top 10, but damn, it might be number 11. Like, it's that good. So there's that. And the reason why I say Belle is getting a Best Animated Feature nomination is because I think, ironically enough, like 3 Disney movies in the running for a nomination, one of them's going to get booted out. You can't have, like, one of them's, like I think they're going to cancel each other out, and I think one of them's going to get booted because of that many Disney movies. So I think Raya and the Last Dragon is going to get booted in favor of Belle. So there's that. And Sing 2, it's performing well, but I don't expect it to get nominated for Best Animated Feature. So there's that. And really, yeah, I think that is it for the major Guild Awards. I am really excited to see what Oscar morning brings us. Because we got, and I'm so glad to say that I've seen almost every single one of these movies except for Licorice Pizza. I have not seen Licorice Pizza, at least when it comes to like the live action movies. I haven't seen Sing 2, but whatever. In terms of like the live action, like major kind of awards contending movies, I have seen almost all of them that we've talked about here. Except for Licorice Pizza. I don't know where the hell I'm going to be able to watch Licorice Pizza. So yeah, guys, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on, these Guild Awards overall? And so, yeah. Which movie do you hope gets nominated for Best Picture? I think also judging by this, I think we can fully confirm Spider-Man No Way Home is absolutely not getting nominated for Best Picture. I think it should, but it's not going to. I think if anything, we're gonna throw in a surprise, where it's like we have to legitimately consider, the possibility of Spider-Man No Way Home getting a Best Picture nomination is if it appeared in the Producers Guild. And the Producers Guild has actually been pretty lenient towards comic book movies, because obviously, yeah, Black Panther and Joker got nominated, which also got nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, but there are some movies that got nominated for the Producers Guild Awards that didn't get nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, but considering it got nominated for the Producers Guild Awards, they must have been really, really close, like at least in the top 15. And some of the ones include Wonder Woman, Deadpool, and The Dark Knight. Like, those were movies nominated for the Producers Guild Award in previous years for Best Picture, but didn't get the Best Picture Oscar nomination. But again, if it's nominated for the Producers Guild Award, it had to have been at least in the top 15 in the Oscars. So, yeah, but I think we can safely say that Spider-Man No Way Home is not getting a Best Picture nomination. But hey, whatever. I kind of expected that, to be honest. So yeah, guys, what do you think of the Guild Awards nominations? Let me know what you think. Be sure to subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos. Give this video a like. And so, yeah, guys, I don't think I have much else to say here, but bye.